Yo, what's going on, YouTube, and welcome back to Goal Line Hockey. It's your boy Kevin Forte, and today we're taking a look down in the Lone Star State, as according to David Pagnotta, a big NHL insider, the Dallas Stars defenseman John Klingberg has requested a trade out of the Dallas Stars organization. So we'll be going over that today. So, according to Dave Pagnotta of NHL Network, he reports that John Klingberg has asked for a trade from the Dallas Stars, and this is in quote, "This is not something that has occurred recently. This had been going on for a little while, presumably when contract talks hit a wall and there wasn't any remedying. There is no guarantee the Stars will accommodate the request, but for the time being, a move is not imminent." And this is also following up that report, just a couple of little things that I got. Let's see if I can find it now. No, I can't find it. So basically, it's to the point where this relationship is to a point where it can't be repaired. And that sucks, especially for the Dallas Stars, who are going to lose a top pairing defenseman on the blue line. So you look at what John Klingberg's done this season. He's got 16 points in 25 games, 1 goal, 15 assists. He is a -8, and he just this past, start this month, start 2022, he has just hit his 500 career milestone in the NHL. Big congratulations there to John Klingberg. He was a 5th round pick back in the 2010 NHL draft. And John Klingberg, what's interesting about Klingberg here is how he has developed, and you look at his summaries over his seasons, he has been able to put together some really impressive seasons. At least a 45, 55-point defenseman every season for John Klingberg. And if he played a full 82-game schedule, which he's only technically done once, he could have even higher point totals. And that 82-game schedule season, he had 67 points that year. So even closer to that, even 60, 70-point defenseman. So John Klingberg is just an absolute animal when you look at, in terms of what he can produce for you. He's a top pairing defenseman. He's also on the number 1 power play for the Dallas Stars as a kind of the quarterback of running that power play. Like I said, 8 NHL seasons. And the biggest thing, and that is the contract. So if you guys go back to earlier, really in the offseason, there's a lot of talk that the Dallas Stars were going after Texas native Seth Jones, who at the time was with the Columbus Blue Jackets. And the Dallas Stars were trying to find a way to make a deal work there. And supposedly John Klingberg was a part of those rumors. And that kind of died once he went to the Chicago Blackhawks. But supposedly Jim Nill and Jarmo Kekalainen were pretty far along in some sort of trade deal where we sort of would have saw Seth Jones go to Dallas and John Klingberg go the other way to Columbus. Now, I think some of the problem with that was John Klingberg maybe didn't want to sign and trade with the Columbus Blue Jackets. And he also has a modified no-trade clause, so it would have been difficult to get that deal done if he were to have not signed off on it, because at the end of the day, he does have that power. That's part of his contract. Now, he has one of the best contracts in the NHL. I think he's making around $4 million right now. It was a 5 or 6 year deal he signed, and now he wants his money. And can you really blame him? You saw what his, a fellow defensive teammate and Miro Heiskanen just made, and he actually took a pretty low ball contract, 6.75, right, for 7 years. John Klingberg's going to make his money, and especially when you look at just how valuable defensemen have become. I mean, you look at the Darnell Nurse contract. He's making $9.5 per year. Seth Jones making $9 million per year. Zach Werenski making over $9 per year. So you look at John Klingberg, how much further down the ring is he from that? I would say he's going to make between $8 and $9 million per year. And I think that's a safe bet. And that's part of the problem here, is that Dallas just doesn't have the salary cap space. They have too many guys they have to re-sign this year and next, that it's just not going to work out in order to keep John Klingberg. And when you look at numbers that are anywhere between 8 years for $64 million to 8 years and potentially $72 million, potentially almost $9 million per year, if not more, John Klingberg's going to get his money. And I just don't think, with where the Dallas Stars are right now, I think it's of the wise to move John Klingberg. Now, they have a couple of guys, I've already made a video on this at the beginning of the year, that this is going to be an interesting year for Jim Nill. You have Joe Pavelski, Rupe Hintz, and John Klingberg all on UFA status this summer. He may move all three of those guys, acquire draft picks and prospects, and kind of retool this thing on the fly while he's still got Jamie Benn, Tyler Seguin, and Miro Heiskanen. So the Dallas Stars are in an interesting predicament with John Klingberg, and it's not like his ice time has really dipped. I've looked at his last couple games of ice time. He's at the very least hit 19 minutes per night, and at some points has hit almost 28 minutes per night. And again, that depends on more of a power play driven defenseman. So if they have more power plays, he'll probably get more minutes. But he's getting good shifts. He's getting anywhere between 19 to 27 shifts at 19 to 27 minutes of ice time. So you can't really complain too much about that if you're John Klingberg. And like I said, he's been a very good defenseman. He's going to get paid good. And like I said, he's a top pairing defenseman. Number one guy on the power play defensively. He is going to be a great addition to a team. Now the question is, what happens here? Is this going to be a sign and trade before the deadline? Or is this going to be a team taking him as a rental? I think it'll likely be the former. It'll probably be a team that's going to do the sign and trade, because the problem is with John Klingberg, he's worth too much. If you don't get the guarantee of him signing pretty much as soon as the trade is put through to the NHL, you're kind of at a loss, because John Klingberg will not be cheap. And you look at prices around the league, we're seeing the Jacob Chikrin price. We saw the price for Seth Jones last year. The price is going to be high on John Klingberg, at least a first-round pick or two. You're looking at high-end prospects. Teams are going to be willing to do it. It's just what team. And you wonder if a team like the Oilers could be in the mix, because they're looking for that defenseman, but they were out on Chikrin because he was worth too much. They don't want to give up draft picks and prospects. So then who else could be on the list? Well, maybe do the St. Louis Blues. They're looking pretty good this year. Well, maybe the Winnipeg Jets. Maybe the Calgary Flames. The Calgary Flames would love to add a big-name defenseman. And you add a guy like John Klingberg, that could be a really nice addition to the Calgary Flames blue line. So I think there's definitely going to be some teams in the mix there. But let me know what you guys think. In the comment section down below, what do you think of John Klingberg? Where do you think he'll sign? What do you think his trade value will be? And where do you think he'll end up? Let me know what you guys think. And if you like what we're doing here at Goal Line Hockey and want to see the latest news around the NHL, more videos just like this one, you guys know what to do. Make sure to give this video a big thumbs up, and an even bigger, subscribe down below. Guys, as always, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you again next time.